I cannot believe that it's taken me until this point in my life to realize that this is what I do to sabotage myself when I'm feeling scared, when I feel like I'm going to be rejected, when I'm scared of failure, when I feel like an imposter. It's day 29 of a year facing fear, and this is a game changer. I think it should be a game changer if I take action on it now. So I did an audit, a fear audit of the last 29 days, looking at what is it that I did when I felt triggered, when fear triggered me to stay silent, to play small, when I felt like I was completely out of my depth or scared of being rejected. And I noticed something about myself that I must have known. Like, I must have known that I do this on some level. And I've been talking about it, but you know what? It did not click. Somehow, and I think that this is the thing with our patterns of behavior. Sometimes they're obvious to everyone else around us, but they're not always obvious to us, even if they're completely sabotaging our lives. And so I would consider myself somebody, anyone who knows me knows that I'm somebody who works really hard. I give things everything I've got, or so I thought. But what I realized in doing this audit of the last 29 days, and normally I would just ask myself, well, what do I do when I do this? And it's more of a general question. But in this case, what I did, and I invite you to do, is I actually looked at the last 29 days in all aspects of my life, relationships, career, lifestyle, well-being, mental health, in all family, in all areas of my life. And I looked at the specific examples. When did fear show up? What did I do when I felt like an imposter? What did I do when I felt like I might get rejected? And I looked at those instances in every area of my life. And what I found was that in every single area of my life, I get to 95 to 99% done. So I will put in an enormous amount of work, an enormous amount of research, work, dedication, and then I will get right to the end, the very, very end, the part where I can feel it, I can taste it, I can smell it, I can almost touch it. It's just there, right there at my fingertips. And then I stop. And then I stop. And then I stop. I go into sympathetic nervous system procrastination, which, if you haven't watched my other videos, is where you, in order to avoid something that you're scared of, you distract yourself with something else. You become very, very busy. You can't switch off. You're constantly engaged, constantly wired, constantly at attention. For me, it's filling my life up with a million other things which seem important, but they're not the thing that I need to be working on. And that leads us to feeling overwhelmed, tired, irritable, almost as if we're constantly running a marathon, but we never, ever get to the finish line. Because we're avoiding, and we keep switching paths. It's almost as if you're running a race and you can see the finish line in the distance. And then just as you get a kilometer, 500 meters, just that far away from the finish line, it's almost there. You can almost smell that wind. You feel it in your bones. Somebody puts up one of those pedestrian barriers and you have to take a detour. And then just as you're going down this detour, and you can almost see it, somebody puts up another detour. It's like, what are you doing? And so instead of this straight path, you're doing this. And then sometimes you end up on this completely random path that has nothing to do with where you're going. And that's where I often find myself. So I've made a decision. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes, and I'm going to type up all of the things that I can think about, all of the things that I've avoided recently that have been important. And I'll focus on career first. and I'm going to do a brain dump. So 10 minutes, and then at the end of the 10 minutes, I'm going to pop whatever comes up on Post-it notes. I'm going to stick them on a poster, and then I'm going to deal with this crap once and for all. Are you with me? All right. 10 minutes starts now. Here we go. My computer. All right, so things that I've avoided. Here we go. What the hell is that? What the actual hell is this? This is 10 minutes of brainstorming about the things that I've avoided doing. Not in the last year. This is just the recent things that I've avoided doing. So I have put them up on Post-it notes. So there's 50, not 50 things that I've avoided doing. Some of them are really small. Some of them would literally take me 10 seconds. Some of them are big, and there were some bigger ones that I just could not face putting up there. But there are 50 tasks that I have here on my board that I have avoided doing. Now, some of them are really important. I've put a red asterisk. Some of them are quick wins. So I've put a QW so I know that it's something that I can knock out literally in 30 seconds and get a dopamine boost. But this here, this is my avoidance. This is my reality. This is just business stuff, and this is my reality. And this, when I look at it, when I look at some of the things that I've avoided and some of the things that I haven't replied to, I mean, this is career changing. What the actual hell am I doing? If I complete all of these tasks, this will completely change my life. So why the hell am I not doing it? I know from a rational perspective why I'm not doing it, but it's funny when we call ourselves out, when we see our actions for what they really are. It's life-changing. And so I'm going to put this by my bed, and I am going to start knocking these things off one by one. One by one, I'm going to knock these babies off, and I'm going to get them done. And then I'll add some of the house stuff there's a lot of the house stuff that I've been avoiding. Half of this, half of that. Maybe this is why I used to get called halfer. I really wish I was diagnosed with ADHD so much sooner. My life would have been much easier. I would have actually seen it for what it was rather than feeling so inherently flawed as a human being. So inherently flawed, and constantly trying to cover up all the things that I thought were wrong with me so that people wouldn't notice, so that I could be normal. I just wish that I had known. So anyway, I don't know if you have anything that you have also been avoiding. You probably won't have as many as I do, with 50 tasks that you've somehow managed to. I don't even know how that's possible. But here we are. This is evidence. And now I am going to, as part of my year facing fear, be committed to actually dealing with this and noticing when this pattern of fear and fear avoidance comes into play. Because it's a big one, and it's one that impacts my life, impacts my career, and all aspects of my life in a huge, huge way. So post down below or send me a DM. Is there anything? Have you got this pattern of sympathetic nervous system procrastination? Do you avoid things that you really need to do? Do you have a habit? Do you make a pattern? Is there an automatic pattern that you've got running where this is your go-to, where you burn yourself out doing a million other things except for the things that will actually change your life? If you do, maybe we can do this together. Follow along, join the Facebook group, A Year Facing Fear. And until next time, my dear friends, I have some serious work to do. I don't know about you, but I believe in you. I see you, and you have absolutely got this. And I need to give myself a pep talk. You have absolutely got this. Help! Send the reinforcements. I'm going to need it.